Hey guys, it's Amy at Zoe Beck, and I'm going to start my next daily reading vlog for August 14th. I woke up early. Truman was really cuddly this morning, so I got up and then I was like, okay, well, I'm up and I'm getting low on gas a little bit. I go, I'll stop and get gas on the way to work. Well, never thought of it again after I got into the car until I was way past the gas station. I'm like, well, I guess I'll do that tomorrow. So I'm a little early to work, but that's fine. Anyway, so I'm gonna go up. I was listening to the Viscount de Broglie and by Alexandre Dumas. I am almost to the part where I'm a chapter or two from, I think 2 chapters from where I stopped the last time I tried to read this book. So I'm finally getting to territory where I don't remember much at all. I kind of remember this, but not a lot because I only read it once. So, and again, in a couple chapters, I'll be into the part that I've not read before. So far enjoying it a lot. I'm not sure how it's going to go because, as I said, everybody's has different ideas of what's going to happen when all these Frenchmen go to England to deal in politics. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of an interesting thing. Anyway, I'll probably listen to some of that here at work. If not, I'll listen to it just in the car on the way home. I still have about 8.5 hours at the speed I'm listening to, so I don't expect to get that done either today and probably not tomorrow, but we'll see. It just matters if I have time today or I work on projects that I can listen today. We'll see what happens. And I did bring Wings Once Cursed and Bound, and I'm not sure how I feel about that. So I read a little bit more since I closed the vlog last night, another chapter, and I'm like, it's an urban fantasy, but it's throwing everything at you. And yet the main plot doesn't make, or it makes sense, but it's not enough. I'm not digging it. Anyway, let's put it that way. So, but I'm going to read more because I only got to page, I think 60 or so. So, I'm going to try a little bit more. We'll see how that goes. So anyway, that's it. I will, probably check in with you when I get home. I don't have any errands or anything to do. I won't get gas until tomorrow morning because I don't think I'll go after work. I don't know. We'll see what I feel like. I don't have any plans beyond that. So anyway, I will check in with you guys then. Hey guys, so it is now 4:45. I just got home. I did stop for a coffee. Anyway, yeah, I shouldn't have, but today was one of those days where I didn't really want to listen to an audiobook. I was busy. There's no problem with work-wise. Work was normal. It was a Wednesday, Sorry if you can hear the laundry in the background. I just started it. But I was so disappointed in the book that I took. And then I didn't have another physical book with me, and I didn't want to start any of my ebooks because I have so many physical books I want to get to. And again, I wasn't feeling like an audiobook. I'm just in that mood. Which I could have done more on my audiobook, but I did get to 110 pages of Wings Once Cursed and Bound by Piper J. Drake, and I'm DNF'ing. I think this book could find an audience. I don't think it's for me, which is really funny because it is a paranormal. I would say it's urban fantasy, but it's more on the paranormal romance side. We haven't got to the romance yet, but there's inklings of, attraction and stuff like that. My problem is, and I even wrote this down just because it was driving me crazy, and I was wondering, why is this not working for me? So I do enjoy a lot of books that just drop you into the world, and then the character has to learn really quickly how the world now works. It's different. There's the twist to to our reality, to where vampires and werewolves and fae and other things exist. So that does happen in here, but there's not. So she's also she has powers of her own. She's this Thailand mythology creature and stuff, and it's it's a very rare thing. Nobody in her family that she knows of, somehow she became one. And so she doesn't know much about it. And where she's dropped into this world where she discovers these other creatures and stuff, like because of things that happen with the red shoes that I mentioned before. So for the fairy tale, I'm not sure what the fairy tale is. The one with the red shoes that, like, if you keep the shoes on, it'll make you dance until you're dead. Kind of one. I guess that there's a film or there's maybe a ballet or something on that. I'm not sure. Anyway. So the main plot is these red shoes that she's cursed now. She's trying to get the shoes off. But the problem is she's dropped into this world, and it's just, there's so much introduced within a short amount of time, and yet I feel like the 110 pages I've read, nothing has really happened. Like, there was a few, like, there's a good action scene early on, and then, then somebody was dying, and, they had to help that person out, and then she's finding out that things exist, and so I don't know, but it has, like, if I wanted a checklist of everything, they're all in there. It's just I don't like the way it's done. I did read a review that said a lot of it was telling instead of showing, and I think that's what I'm feeling. It feels very rushed in certain areas where she's just throwing things at us. And this person's this person, this thing, and this is this person, this person is this kind of creature. And I just feel like it's explained, but it's not explained enough, or she doesn't question certain things that I would question. And I guess that always I have problems with when characters, obviously I would be asking all these questions, and I feel like she's just going with the flow, which seems weird in this situation. She does stand up for herself, and she does make good points at certain times. It's not completely bad. Like, this is not bad. This is just, I was getting to the point where I felt like it was just not I just didn't understand the characters. And again, 110 pages in, and we barely know anything about her and her past. We learn a few little things, but we don't know her. Like, we don't know what she's been like if she's lived in the area the whole, not lived in the area. I meant as in what she, we have little hints of kind of when she felt power, when her powers kind of started. We have a little bit of what, she doesn't get along with this family friend that's in the beginning of the book. But we don't see her, we see her in the moment of what's happening, but I don't have the context to like her or to get to know her. I feel like the POV is third person. I'm pretty sure it's third person. I know his is third person. Yeah, they're both third person. So it's her and then the vampire Bennett. And it's just, I think even him, we know a little bit about his past, but I feel like I know a little bit more about him than I do, because he knows all this stuff. So in his POV, he just talks about it. It just makes so much sense. She's still in the questioning everything, and I get that, but we also don't get anything. Anyway, so I had trouble with that. And again, all the creatures are kind of thrown at it. It's just like she had a list, the author had a list. She wanted all these kind of creatures, and she just threw them all in. Just kind of, so we don't get introductions to them really well. They just kind of appear, and we have to deal with it. And as I said, I just feel within the 110 pages, which is over 30% or 33%, I'm over a third. Probably not quite to 40%, but pretty close. But the point is that I feel like the plot was just starting to really, they're making decisions on what they're going to do next. And I made the decision to DNF here because I kept waiting to care more about the characters. And I feel that we're not given that chance. I feel more sympathy with the vampire because I know just a little bit more about him, but I still don't know him really well. And her, to me, she seems even though she asks smart questions, and I think she's smart, she just seems flighty too, because she's just going with everything and not I don't know. It just isn't working for me. So I think other people will like this. The ratings were all over the place. I looked up on Goodreads because I wanted to know what other people were saying, and some of them mentioned, they really enjoyed it. I was told, not maybe when I bought it I knew that, but they were comping this to Sarah J. Maas and Jennifer Armentrout. Now I've not read Jennifer Armentrout yet. That's on my list this year to try one of her books, because I own 2 of her books, so I'm going to try one of them. And even maybe very soon I'll try it, because it's one of my 24 in 2024. But I've read Sarah J. Maas, and this does not feel like this. This feels very rushed and very amateurish in the way that urban fantasy, paranormal romance books are read, are written, and I've read a lot. And so to me, it didn't work. And I would say this was definitely more on the paranormal romance side. I guess I would want to say, I don't know, I can't think of anybody I would say writes the same way, because not my favorites. My favorites write better, or they're easier to understand, or whatever, or their characters are better and their plot is better. But I would say if it was a paranormal author, because that's what this is. This is pretty much a paranormal romance, and but not, again, it's very light on the romance so far. Like, I don't know how spicy it gets. I didn't get that far. Like, but I don't care enough to find out. So anyway, I got that far, and I'm DNFing this book. So sorry about the rant. I wrote that down because I kept wondering, why am I not eating this up? Because again, I read a lot of urban fantasy and paranormal romance. I would say between those two distinctions that, they kind of overlap a lot for me, because usually it's the world with a little twist with monsters and other things, or the world's just slightly different. And those are my favorite books. Like, overall, if you want to talk about my favorite books that I want to reread all the time, they're in series that are like that. So anyway, yeah, that didn't work out. I would like to think it probably gets better, but I just got tired of the way that it was put together, and it just didn't work for me. And I have a break. I had my second break, or whatever, my second 15-minute break, and I did not want to read a book. I looked at my phone instead. That is a problem, because it's very rare that I pick up my phone rather than my book when I'm at work on my breaks. I did read it during lunch, but that was when I was like, oh, this is not working for me. And then my afternoon break, I was like, I didn't want to pick it up, and I didn't read, except on stupid social media. Anyway, okay, so I've ranted enough about that. That's probably what most of this video is going to be, because, again, the only other thing I have is I did listen to the Viscount de Bragelonne. I only listened to this on the way to work and from work, so I got about a little over 50 pages, about 52 pages in. I made it past the place where I had stopped before, so I'm in new territory. And when I got to where I had stopped, I'm like, why did I stop there? Like, the chapter starts with, like, we're in the middle of something, and I'm like, why did I stop there? I have no idea what I was doing. Anyway, so and something just happened, so I want to read more, but as I said, it's my audiobook. I really should try to listen to it more, but I have all those audiobooks from the library that I need to get through too, so I still have 450 pages of this, because I'm just over 200 pages now, so eek. I don't know what I'm going to do. I might have to listen to something else at work, maybe tomorrow. I have a lot of work lined up for tomorrow that I might be able to listen to an audiobook. So I might not listen to that one. I'll listen to that in the car, but maybe I'll pick something else up for during the day. Or I'll listen to that just all day. We'll see what happens. And then, as I said, now I got to figure out what book I'm going to physically read. I do have another stack of books to try. And then I have, dozens over on my shelf that I could try. So I don't know. I'm kind of in a weird mood, as I said, because this book, yeah. that didn't work out for me, but I'm going to get rid of it. So it's off my shelf now, and I've tried it because I was always kind of concerned about it since when I picked it up on a whim. And I didn't know much about it, and I haven't heard anybody talk about it, and it's just not for me. Anyway, so I picked off some, all different kind of fantasies. Fantasy romance, regular fantasy, and then I think I picked up an urban fantasy. I don't know. We'll try. And again, I have other things. I'll just try a couple, like I was doing yesterday, is just trying something, and if I like that, I'll just continue it and see what happens. So, I think that's it. So I will check in later, maybe after I pick a book and I actually get into it. We'll see what happens. But I think this book also suffered from the fact that I read 2 really good books right before this with Sanctuary and The Ashes and the Star-Cursed King. This could not live up to anything I felt for those. So there is that as well, because again, Alona Andrews and urban fantasy is perfection. Like, they're so good at it, and I just enjoy it so much. And then, fantasy wise, it's Ashes and the Star-Cursed King was really good. So it's just, with vampires, again, I wasn't against the creatures. That was actually good, but it was just the way that they were put. Anyway, we're not going to go into it again. We're done. That book is going into my unhaul pile. So, anyway, I'm going to check out some books, maybe watch some YouTube. I have to make dinner. I don't know what I'm going to make. Something out of my freezer, probably, because I did overload it now with my last trip to Costco. So I need to start eating things out of there. And I bought stuff at Trader Joe's earlier, or the weekend before. So I got plenty of stuff. I just need to make it. So, anyway, I will check in with you guys later. Okay, guys, so it is just after 9, so I'm going to wrap this up. It took me hours to decide what I was going to read. I read 2 books, pretty thick, chunky fantasy and fantasy romance-ish too, and I was just like, oh, I don't know if I feel like this right now. And I read like 12 pages of each of them, maybe a little bit more than that, and I was just like, not right now. So I fell back on when I really, really wanted to read, and I was kind of saving it. And I was like, you know what? I feel like I'm going into a slump. So I don't think I should save it anymore. So I picked up The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. So this is a cozy fantasy that just came out in July. I've been super excited to read it. So, and I've heard really good things from other people who have read it online that I've seen. And again, I did read a book of hers during, June, The Queen of Blood, which was the first book I knew about this author, and I had it on my shelf for years. And I do have another book of hers on my shelf too, but I might, then again, the first book, Queen of Blood, was the Queens of Renthia, and so I do kind of want to finish that series. But this is a standalone so far that I know about. It seems like a standalone. Anyway, we're following, I don't know how you say her name, Keela, something like that, close to that. She worked in a library in one of the capital, and there's like an island nation, like empire, and the rebels have taken over, and they are destroying and killing people, and she's in the library, and she's she saves some books and gets off the island and doesn't know where to go, but she remembers that the home that she had been born in that was in the on a far island in the north was probably still theirs because her parents never sold it. They just left for the city. So she goes back, and I've only read, 2 chapters? Yeah, I think I've only read 2 chapters. I think I'm in the middle of chapter 3, and I already adore it. It's just because she's, she doesn't want to deal with people. She's pretty much cut herself off and worked her job, and now that she's come to this, cottage that's really not, has not been lived in for decades, and Kaz is just already hilarious. I just love the animal assistant or whatever, a companion that she has with her, which, or, well, not animal. It's something else, but it's so funny. Anyway, so far, I really enjoy it. I did not see that that was a cat with wings laying on the step there. I just saw that. Anyway, I heard about them and they described like that could happen. I just didn't see it. Oh, so cute. Anyway, so I am only, let's see, I have a really big sleeve thing on it because I didn't want to hold it, but I'm not very far. Like I'm 20 pages in, you know, and it's like 3 something. I don't remember what it is. Looks like 370 something. So this is just a sleeve I bought off Etsy. It's for bigger hardbacks, but yeah, the only ones I have are big ones. I should probably get a small one because it's kind of oversized. But I don't have very many small hardbacks. So anyway, but I want to protect it when I take it to work tomorrow because again, I'll only get to read it on my breaks. But oh, it's so cute already. I already really enjoy it so far. Anyway, so we'll see how that goes. I just, because of my reading today, I just felt like I was going into a slump. And I was like, I got to pull out the big guns. And it's a book I've been dying to pick up. And I keep putting it off. And again, I've had it for a month now. And I'm just keep pushing it off. And I'm like, finally, like, no. You have no reason not to read it. Even though, yes, you have all these other books. I know that. But I'm a mood reader. And it was calling to me. So I'm going to read that physically, and then hopefully tomorrow we'll see how my plan goes. I think I'm going to try to still read the Viscount de Bragelonne in the car, but I think I'm going to try to, as I said, I think I'm going to try to read some of my library books from Libby during work if I can. If I can, then I could get through a couple of the ones that I've started that I should finish. There's the one I started and I'm not sure I'm going to continue. And then I have a short one that's a novella that's just recently out. The next Pendrick novella from Lois McMaster Bujold. So I want to listen to that quickly so that I can give it back because there's a lot of people waiting for that one. And anyway, so I might like listen to that because that's only a little over 2 hours at the speed I listened to it. And I want to make a decision on a couple others. So we'll see what happens. Maybe I can clear some of the stuff off of my Libby during the day. But again, it just matters on work. I know I have a lot of work waiting for me. So it just depends on if it's stuff that I need to use my brain for or if it's stuff I can just, send emails out and not think about it. We'll see how it goes. I didn't look at them that closely. So anyway, that's the end of this vlog. Kind of a little all over the place. I was like not sure what I was going to read. And then, I didn't read very much because I spent so much time trying to decide what I was going to read. So pathetic. Anyway, so we'll see how tomorrow goes. I hope to make some decisions on a lot of the audiobooks from the library. And maybe get through some or get rid of them. Decide I'm not going to read those. I am in a real DNF mood right now. Like, there's some that I'm just like, you know what, forget it. I'm done. Like, I don't need to go back and try it again, but I feel like I still should try it a second time and just try it. So we'll see what happens, what I come up with. So anyway, that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.